as was completed ahead of schedule. The company says the facility currently employing about 550 people. Microsoft also saying that it's investing nearly $5 billion in Wisconsin over the next 2 years as it expands its data center campus in Mount Pleasant. Work is already underway on a second facility. Plans to then grow that workforce to roughly 800 employees once it's completed. Plans to build an addiction recovery center in New Berlin are moving forward after a few months of controversy.
On vote of 2-2, the motion fails to overturn the decision of the Plan Commission.
After keeping their decision secret for weeks, the city's Board of Appeals rejected a zoning challenge to the Milwaukee Rescue Mission project on Monday. The group New Berlin Citizens United had appealed the Plan Commission's decision to treat the facility as a church under zoning code. The drug and alcohol recovery facility will house more than 100 men at a time near I-43 and Moreland Road. Jessica Gatso, WTMJ News.
The fragile ceasefire agreement between Israel and Lebanon tested early this morning. Israel reporting that there was a flare-up incident that happened in Lebanon. More from News Nation's Robert Sherman.
There was an incident in which multiple, as they described, terrorists entered the security zone in southern Lebanon, posing a direct threat to Israeli troops, and were struck as a result of all of that. We saw a new ceasefire come into effect between Hezbollah, Israel, and Lebanon on Friday. There have been multiple incidents just like these, and we know that both Iran and Washington are very focused on what happens here when it comes to the parameters of the broader ceasefire at large.
Secretary of State Marco Rubio is in the Middle East today, meeting with Arab leaders to discuss part of the larger peace plans for the region. Time for news about your money. The WTMJ Annex Wealth Management Market Update. A bit of a mixed bag. The NASDAQ is down over 1% at 25,748. The S&P 500 is off 78 points at 7,393. And the Dow is up slightly, up about 40 points at 51,753. Financial planning at every level. Annex Comprehensive Wealth, Annex Private Client, Annex Ignite. Details at annexwealth.com. Sports, traffic, weather are next. Outdoor Living Unlimited, WTMJ News Time, 10:04.
Slide into your neighborhood Century Food Store to score the freshest produce, tastiest treats, and everything in between. Now through Wednesday, save on gallon selected varieties, Prairie Farms white or chocolate milk, $3.99. 46 to 48 ounce selected varieties, Blue Bunny dairy dessert, 2 for $7. Fresh Athena melon, $2.99. Fresh 80% lean ground beef, $4.99 a pound.
Safe.
Every time I scan, what is happening?
A leaping grab at the wall.
Okay, fine, I'll play. Get a load of this watermelon. And here's the pitch.
Please wait for assistance.
Win Century Foods Ultimate Fan Experiences at Milwaukee baseball games. Throw out the first pitch, hold the ribbon for the Johnsonville famous sausage race, or watch batting practice from the field.
Ooh, what do I do?
Complete the entry form in Century's weekly ad and return to the store.
Oh, no, what happened here?
Oh, self-checkout couldn't handle my heater. Here, I filled out my entry form. Gotta go. Have a great day.
I'll go get the mop.
Enter by August 5th.
It's WTMJ's Julia Fellow for Sweet Talks Medical Spa in Menominee Falls. If you're looking for expert care without that cold clinical vibe, Sweet Talks is where beauty, wellness, and self-confidence comes together in such a fun, welcoming space. Sweet Talks offers injectables, advanced skin treatments, even wellness services like weight loss or hormone optimization. Sweet Talks provides a comprehensive consultation designed just for you. Learn more at sweettalks.com.
Bikers need protection, not just from other drivers, but unfortunately from insurance companies too. We've been fighting for injured bikers and their families for more than 30 years. Call Gruber Law Offices today. One call, that's all.
Staples Easy Deal Days are here. Score up to 50% off more than 1,000 products in-store and online. It all ends July 4th. Staples, that was easy.
Find furniture for life from Ken Michaels Furniture in Brookfield, Greenfield, or downtown Milwaukee.
Time for a WTMJ Sports Update from the Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all sports desk. With the Giannis trade to Miami, the Bucks certainly going to be busy tonight in the first round of the NBA draft, currently sitting with the 10th and 13th picks in the first round. Draft starting tonight, 7 o'clock at the Barclays Center in Brooklyn. Game 2 tonight between the Brewers and Reds. Milwaukee coming off a 2-1 win in extra innings. Brandon Woodruff making his first start since April 30th. Had a perfect game going into the 6th, but did give up 1 hit. Had no walks and 10 strikeouts. Brandon Sproat on the mound tonight for the Brewers. All of our coverage at 5:35 here on WTMJ. Let's take a look at the road. Your WTMJ Time Saver traffic. Seeing just a few slowdowns in some of our work zones, 94 and 41, but really nothing out of the ordinary. So rest of the system, everything else looking pretty good. As for your forecast, plenty of sunshine, a high around 70 degrees. We'll see some increasing clouds tonight, maybe some storms to the northwest of the city, otherwise a low down to 57. Better chance for some scattered showers and storms on Wednesday. We'll see highs in the upper 70s, and then sunny and pleasant conditions returning on Thursday with a high around 73. Right now, 69 degrees in Madison, sitting at 65 in Kenosha, and it's 67 degrees in Milwaukee. I'm Neil Doyle, Outdoor Living Unlimited, WTMJ News Time, 10:08.
Broadcasting live from the Annex Wealth Management Studios at the Avenue. It's time for Point Taken. Here are your hosts, Steve Scafidi and Kristen Bry.
And good morning, everybody. Yes, the breaking news. You heard it all this morning in Wisconsin Morning News with Eric and Vince. The big trade, all of us essentially in Wisconsin sort of knew it was going to happen at some point, but it's never a good thing when your superstar talent, Giannis Antetokounmpo, decides to go to a different team.
It's true. I had a good friend of mine who works part-time for the Bucks. I texted him this morning. Said, wellness check? Because he was, he's heartbroken. But he had a great analogy. He was like, this kind of feels like when you have an older family member who's been sick for a long time and, you know, they finally pass and you're still sad, but there's not quite the surprise aspect of it because it's been a long time thinking that it's going to come. So it's a little dramatic because he does care that much. But it does. It's like, it kind of feels like we finally ripped the Band-Aid off as far as how long this conversation's been happening as far as, is he going to go? Is he going to stay? Is he going to go? And I don't know. I feel very grateful.
Yeah.
I don't feel... it's a big question as far as what does the team look like? Who's going to the games? You know, those expensive tickets. What is the turnover going to be for season ticket holders and a lot of that aspect? But at least from the basketball people that I talk to of how good of a deal this is for the Bucks, no one seems to think it's a terrible deal.
I am thankful that he played for the Bucks. I got to see him play probably 50 times in his career. I mean, some great games. He won us a championship, helped to win a championship in 2021, made one of my life moments. I got to be the lead broadcaster on the parade coverage on 620 WTMJ. I'll never forget that, along with Sherwin Hughes, our teammates.
I remember saying hi to you guys, waving to you because I was getting content for the parade.
10-time NBA All-Star, obviously 2021 NBA champ, along with his great team. He's a player that is top 10 all time, maybe? Is that?
Oh, yeah.
So I got to watch Michael Jordan play in his prime. I got to see Giannis Antetokounmpo. I'm old enough to remember some of the legendary Kareem. I saw Kareem play at the old Milwaukee Arena. So I've seen some great talents. He gave his heart and soul to this team. He lived in Milwaukee.
The city.
Yes. I mean, there shouldn't be any negativity, and I don't think there is a ton of it. I will say this to those who say why. He was injured a lot in his last 5 years, and we didn't win a championship. We were disappointed by those results in the playoffs. I don't think he was smart about playing in the offseason because he didn't let his body heal so he could be healthier for the NBA season, but I'm never going to criticize Giannis because the guy did amazing things. The Bucks received a heck of a lot of compensation for Giannis. Not just now, they have the extra pick in the first round. They've got picks going into the 2030s, first-round picks. Who knows who those players might be? The NBA draft is always a crapshoot. You can hit on somebody and they turn out to be amazing. You can draft someone high that's supposed to be an all-star and they turn out to be a bust. You don't know. We have different leadership now. There's some questions about the Bucks leadership that maybe allowed this to happen, that maybe Giannis wasn't feeling like it was communicated enough. I heard some of that from Lori Nickel, who joins Vince and Eric every Tuesday. So there's a lot of commentary. I guess my question for all of you who listen to our show, Point Taken on 620 WTMJ, is, are you mad at Giannis? Are you sad? What are you feeling? Because I'm happy for him. He gets to go to his next chapter, and he gets to see what that might bring. And I wish him luck in Miami. I don't wish him not to not have success. I want him to be successful. He's a great player. Why would I think otherwise? And I'm not a huge NBA guy, but I certainly enjoyed the long run. What is it, 13 years here in Milwaukee? And you got your champions.
I got my
Journal Sentinel.
my Journal Sentinel. For anyone watching it's a limited edition. George Stanley, shout out.
Yeah.
While he was still at Journal Sentinel, he gave me. It's a T-shirt with the front page of the Journal Sentinel when they won the championship.
Those are rare things.
Yeah.
I mean, we've had some champions in this state, obviously. Packers being first and foremost 13-time world champions. Bucks twice. Brewers, still some work to do. And obviously, some of the other professional teams have had some success as well. But we are spoiled here. And we've been spoiled and lucky to have Giannis.
I totally agree. I think it's a feeling of, I don't know. I think it's very, what do I want to say? I think to be sad is an expected feeling right now. But I just keep thinking about how magical the summer of 2021 was. It's been interesting to watch the Knicks and New York being celebrating, and it does remind me a lot of what that summer felt like here. But for us, it was also, it was coming out of COVID, and then obviously there was some COVID that came back after all those rallies and parades and stuff. But it was like coming out of COVID. We went into the summer because they had pushed the games, and so it didn't happen until July as far as the championship. And I just remember, that was how many weeks? Almost a month that was my first summer in Milwaukee because I had only moved here the fall before. My first summer with Mike, meeting all of these new friends. Like, it was like, for me, that was like my introduction into the city of such a magical moment. And I think seeing what the people of this city was made of, how many people were just so excited. Like, it's hard to actually, as you can tell, I'm struggling to find the words of like what that stretch of time felt like to be part of and to witness. And that doesn't happen without Giannis, and it doesn't happen without Bobby. I do feel a little bad
Bobby
as far
Portis,
as like Bobby is so loved, and since he's part of this trade package, I feel like he's kind of playing like it's like when Farrah Fawcett died the same day as Michael Jackson. and you're like, oh, like this is also a huge loss to lose Bobby. And the thing is with both of them, it is as much as what they did on the court as what they did off the court, right? Like, these are two guys. I know for a fact that some of the things that Bobby did as far as like Feeding America and different time that he did, it's not only that he did it, it's that when I know because I was talking to people who were on those photo shoots or shoots for the commercials, like, he was very generous with his time as far as being there, doing extra stuff, and not being a diva when he was signing up to do different philanthropy or campaigns and stuff like that. So it's also what they did for the community and how they showed up and how they treated people. And so overall, it's not just a loss of two really great players. It's two great like community members who did a lot for us.
Yeah, the word that I would use, ambassadors for the city. They put the Bucks and Milwaukee in the center of the world when it came to basketball, obviously. But
truly the world, because Giannis is a world superstar.
Oh my God, yes. And for many years, and I don't know if it's still the case, but he was like the leading sports figure that people looked at from other countries. So Giannis. And I can remember going to Bucks games and sitting there and seeing all the Greek fans would show up and then hang around after the games. So he'd sometimes come out and talk to them. That's what made him unique. Above all else, besides being a spectacular basketball player and an athlete, he was a tremendous human being.
Is a tremendous human.
He's not dead.
Present tense.
Yeah, but that is a value and a skill set that maybe more NBA and other pro athletes should look at, because he's certainly lived a life and he's going on to whatever his next chapter is. I wish him success. Lots of texts coming in. We'll read some of those texts and get your Giannis thoughts before we move on to some other things in politics and the world beyond. But Giannis traded many years here in Milwaukee. It's a sad day, but it's also a great day too, because we're going to see what that next chapter is, not only for Giannis but for the Milwaukee Bucks. That's a big question mark. We'll get to that and more after this on 620 WTMJ.
The second you hear this,
fly ball left center,
you know exactly who it is.
Strong is on the move. He's running out of room. It's gone!
Brewers play-by-play man Jeff Levering, and he's our Brewers 360 guest every Wednesday at 8:45 on Wisconsin's Morning News.
I think it's a totally different story from Miz, but he does need to learn how to communicate. You know, it's not a bad thing if you're done after 5. That's okay.
Brewers 360 is sponsored by Outdoor Living Unlimited, Potawatomi Casino Hotel, Hannon and Dunphy, and Ridgetop Exteriors.
Hey, it's WTMJ Steve Scafidi for Walney Legal Group. All right, they specialize in estate planning. Here is a quote: "Nothing destroys family faster than money." And that's something that Walney, they're great experts, they're great communicators, they're great lawyers, understand. Estate planning is an uncomfortable necessity. They make it smooth, easy. It's a personal service, a modern approach. They can help everybody: young adults, business owners, families, retirees, high net worth individuals, blended families, professionals, everything from in and estate planning, wills, trusts, probate, elder care, special needs planning. Here's a number for you, stark number. Only 16% of people have appropriate current planning documents. You can't set it and forget it. It's been a few years. Have Walney Legal Group review and update it. Here's what I want you to do. Text 855-616-1620. Just say, give me the link, and I will send you a link to their website. It's walneylegal.com. Walney, W-A-L-N-Y. But I'll send you the link. Just text me at 855-616-1620. You want to talk to them. Above all else, besides being tremendous lawyers, they understand family dynamics and relationships, whether it's memorabilia, artwork, heirlooms. It's just stuff, yeah, but you want to make sure you know where that stuff goes. And when you have one, let's say, a personalized Bart Starr helmet, but there are 4 kids and 6 grandkids, you want to straighten that out. Text me, 855-616-1620. I'll send you a link to walneylegal.com.
Brewers Cubs action on a weekend? Yeah, you're going to want to see this. Be here Friday, June 26th through Sunday, June 28th for the first matchup between the Brewers and Cubs at American Family Field of 2026. You know what happened last time, and it's time to defend home field once again. One thing's for sure, big moments are bound to happen. Score your seat for another chapter in the Brewers-Cubs rivalry now at Brewers.com.
Is it time to replace your roof? Are you looking for a temporary fix like asphalt or a lifetime one-and-done experience with stone-coated metal roofing? This is not a throwaway product. It's an investment that can save you from an insurance claim. To learn more, call Abbey Home today. And if someone asks you if you know a guy in the business, you can say no, but I know a girl. Right now, get 50% off installation on a new metal roof. That's right, 50% off installation on a new metal roof. Go to abbyhome.com or give us a call, 414-436-ABBY, 414-436-2229.
I want to thank the front office, the ownership for believing in me. When I was 18 years old back in Greece, they allowed me to lead this team and trust me.
Some vintage Giannis for you. Giannis Antetokounmpo, now a member of the Miami Heat, or at least will be officially. I think it's July 7th or something like that.
I was thinking about this because, there's a lot of really great players. Obviously, we're seeing the rise of Wemby. LeBron's, I don't know if he's going to retire this year or next year. But there's something really special about Giannis's story that I think also plays into people's attachment to him, right? It's like the fact that he got here and grew another 2 inches because he was so malnourished, right? Because they were so poor.
Yeah.
And the story of what his parents did and sacrificed for those 4 boys, and then just the serendipitous turn of events that got him here, and what his family has been able to do, what his all 4 brothers have been able to do, like everything they're doing with their father's foundation, that it feels also like specifically suited for the Midwest and for Wisconsin, that I think adds to the enchanted nature of his story and his rise.
Oh, lots of texts on this. Be happy for him. It's a game. Love the guy. Some people going after the ownership group. I don't know. Well, I mean, we'll find out.
We'll find out, right? As far as this is a small town, and I think as the ownership group of mostly Haslam, right? Because he's the newer one of the two. And if it feels like there's a shift in, how oriented they are in the community, how the moves that they make, of what happens with the GM. And this is stuff for ESPN Milwaukee to have more insight on than us.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I think there was, it's nice to have an organization when they're really embedded in the community. Like we know the Brewers very much so.
Fantastic
do that.
job. Whether it's a
we know
Brewers
the
Foundation or all the
do
other
that in
stuff.
Green Bay.
Packers,
and I think certainly the Bucks were doing that. I think it is yet to be seen if they will continue to be like that.
From the 262, I'm happy for him. Hope he does well. He no longer wanted to play for the Bucks, so it's a win for both him and the Bucks. 414. Not upset with Giannis. This is the name of the game. Players come and go. That's true. I mean, Brett Favre, Aaron Rodgers, lots of other players. This is an interesting one, 414. I'm a Giannis fan, not a Bucks fan anymore. I mean, Okay. I mean, what does that mean? I don't know. You could be a Giannis fan. You don't have to be a Bucks fan.
You could also be both. You could be a Bucks fan and a Giannis fan.
Yes, true. 414, I fell in love with his character, and he was a unique player. I mean, just the goofy stuff he did and the 50 nugget thing and all that stuff. Interesting question from the 414. What about all the people that paid good hard-earned money to see him the last few years, and he only played 36 games last year? I don't know if that 36 total is right. I did bring that
Maybe
point
36
up.
home games.
Yeah. That was my disagreement. He chose to play in the offseason for his home country, Greece. And whether that's a smart play, I mean, it's his call. It's his body, his life. But I don't think that helped him when it came to his NBA season because I don't want to go through the numbers because I'm not a sports guy, but he missed a lot of games in the last 5 years. There's 82 game season. He averaged in the 60s. So he missed quite a few games. Not all because of injury.
But also all the stars do that. That's a problem with the NBA.
Yeah, that is an
NBA issue as far as I'm not going to say softness, but maybe I will, of the stars across the board not playing. I mean, wasn't Anthony, not Anthony Edwards, one of the guys that was out last year with like a fingernail injury or something stupid. Like there is a softness to the NBA now that did not exist in the 90s as far as pampering the players, I think.
It will be interesting to see what happens to the support of this team because we'll have essentially all new players at some point in the next few years.
I mean, I think this was what happens, right? Franchises rebuild. And sure. I think it's the same thing as think about how bad the Packers were when I was like a kid. So the 80s up until Brett Favre came and Reggie White. And so, did people abandon the Packers then?
No. And we have two great shining examples of how that can work. Brewers, they've lost their manager. They've lost their players. They turned over their roster. Packers, same thing. New coach a few years back, Matt LaFleur. We lost our star quarterback. We got different players playing in almost every position, but they still maintain a high quality of play. My expectation is with all these draft picks and the right leadership, I'm open to this team being pretty good. Again, not an NBA guy.
Who's the coach going to be?
Did they hire a coach?
They did hire a new coach. Yeah, that's totally blanked for a second.
How wild is that we don't even know his name? Because I'm not a sports guy when it comes to basketball. I don't follow it the way I do the other sports. It's just the way I am.
Yours number one is Packers.
Correct.
Packers, Brewers, Bucks.
Yeah.
Any college teams sneak in there?
No.
Okay, that's good.
Except my UWM Panthers when they're good.
Their baseball team was very good this year.
Very good. True story. I almost lured them to Oak Creek if we could have got The Rock to build their stadium in Oak Creek. That would have been so cool. I would have been an ambassador for them then. That would have been a fun little relationship we could have had. But yeah, who knows? All right.
What could have.
Yeah, exactly. She's Kristen. I'm Stevens. Point taken. The Giannis trade obviously consuming most of the oxygen in the room when it comes to Wisconsin news and sports. But we'll move on. Lots of other things to talk about on the program today. Thanks for being there for us. If you miss any or all of our broadcasts, you can find it always at WTMJ.com.
AccuNet Mortgage is an equal housing lender. NMLS ID 255368.
This is Brian Wickert, owner of Wisconsin's own AccuNet Mortgage. I get that most home shoppers just go with their bank when it comes to getting pre-approved, but that's probably a mistake because banks have a lot of overhead like branches, fancy headquarters, and layers of management. That means their closing costs are typically $1,000 to $3,000 higher than AccuNet's for exactly the same rate. And that's not all. Bank pre-approval letters are usually weak and unconvincing, especially compared to AccuNet's rock-solid, fully verified pre-approval that provides a $2,000 guarantee to you and the seller. Our senior loan consultants will also look at every possible way to strengthen your offer and pre-approval in the eyes of that seller, especially if you're offering over the asking price. We even call the listing agent to reinforce what a great buyer you are. Banks don't do all that. Click on the blue button today at AccuNet.com and let our passionate mortgage pros help you win while you save a bunch of money, too. That's ACCUNET.com.
WTMJ's Eric Bilstead here. You know, it's been more than 3 years since we got our garage door from J.D. Griffiths, and it still looks brand new. I'm telling you, it's quiet, it's smooth, and honestly, I didn't realize how much of a difference a quality door would make until we upgraded. J.D. Griffiths, they've been doing it for decades. They're local, trusted, and they handle everything. Try their website, jdgriffiths.com/WTMJ. Schedule your free consultation from J.D. Griffiths.
Wet basements and foundation problems? For over 20 years, Accurate has been the Fix-It Show's trusted experts in foundation repair and waterproofing. Whether it's cracked walls, drain tile issues, or water in your basement, they've got you covered. Don't wait until the problem gets worse. Call Accurate Basement Repair today at 414-744-6900 or visit AccurateBasementRepair.com. They're not just good, they're accurate.
The historic Fox and Hound Supper Club near Holy Hill is hiring experienced line cooks and dishwashers. You'll make real money. Night and weekend hours are required. Parents and grandparents, tell your kids. Inquire today, start next week. Google and call the Fox and Hounds today.
Want to stay up to date with the crew?
Track, wall, gone! Jackson Churio goes deep.
Tune in to Brewers Extra Innings with Dominic Cotroneo after every game.
My goodness, another homer from him. It's a reminder that the Brewers had this foresight. He is under team control for at least another 5 seasons. And then the team options on the back end of that.
Or listen anytime on the Brewers All Access podcast feed. We are your home of the Brewers. WTMJ.
We're going to move on to some other stuff in a second here. Lots of text. Thanks for all the people who took the time to text. I think it's, does the word inevitable seem like the right, I mean, that's sort of what I felt like the last few months, right? Because I heard Lori Nickel on with Vince and Eric this morning. She said basically she knew in March he was gone. Or they had a pretty good idea.
Yeah, I mean, I think there was a chance that he was going to be gone before the season was even like the last trade deadline. Inevitable as far as the last couple months, yes. But like we were saying at break, I do think the Bucks tried, like as far as the front office, right? Like they got Dame, Chris Middleton got hurt. Like there was just a lot of things outside of your control, which is also just how sports is, right?
It's not easy to win championships.
Think about us like starting the Packers season last year when we got Micah, and like everyone was like, this is our year, and then injuries happen. It's just like, this is why you play the game, because there is no guarantee on who's going to win, and there's no guarantee on who's going to win a championship, and that is the nature of sports, and it's not for a lack of trying. Everyone is trying to win the championship. I think that's sometimes what we forget is like, it's not just our team that's trying to win, it is every single franchise.
And if it was a great story that we won for the first time in 50 years, it's also interesting that it happened for the first time in New York in 50 years. If it was easy, they would have won more championships. And you can complain about the Bucks brass all you want. They brought a championship back in 2021. That's pretty cool. That's recent history. It's not like 30 years ago. That's a big win for the community and for the Bucks. And I'll never forget it. You're not going to forget
Absolutely
it. And
not.
we're certainly never going to forget Giannis. He's a legend in this community and will be for a long time. There will be, if the plans aren't already in place, there'll be a statue of Giannis outside the Fiserv. Do you agree? Gotta be.
Probably.
Because he anointed that building with a championship. That's the cool thing. So I would happy to give you my thoughts on the statue, like how big it should be. Just call me or text me.
But maybe we can replace the calling.
That would be something.
You'd be happy about that.
All right, local news with Neil Doyle coming up. Here's now the latest from ABC.
ABC News, I'm Sherry Preston. A UN agency says an evacuation plan will begin soon to get the 11,000 people who've been stranded on ships in the Strait of Hormuz out. Talks continue on a permanent end to the war between the U.S. and Iran. What has been agreed to, allowing UN nuclear inspectors into the country and allowing Iran to sell its oil legally to other countries. ABC's Britt Clennett.
By the U.S. temporarily lifting oil sanctions on Iran, what it is opening the door for Tehran to sell oil in American currency, in U.S. dollars, for the first time in almost 2 decades. Now, despite Iran saying there's no timeline or saying there's no commitment on allowing those inspectors in, President Trump, he's defending this deal with Iran, claiming in posts on social media that Iran has fully and completely agreed to these high-level, limitless nuclear inspections, he says.
President Trump saying that the water in the reflecting pool will be drained again for permanent repair, either immediately before or after the 4th of July. This is ABC News.
Outdoor Living Unlimited, WTMJ News Time, 10:31. I'm Neil Doyle. Bucks fans continuing to react after the news broke that the Bucks are trading Giannis to the Miami Heat.
It was tough. I unfortunately woke up to it this morning. If I would have saw it last night, I don't think I would have slept very well, I'll tell you that much. But when I woke up this morning, saw it all taking place, read about it, had to dive into the details. I do like the haul that they got, and I thought it was a matter of time, but you don't like to see that for sure, seeing your superstar go.
The The Bucks getting 4 players from Miami in the deal, along with a couple of first-round picks. First round of the NBA draft is tonight. Milwaukee police continuing to investigate a triple shooting that happened early this morning. Officers called just before 2 o'clock to the area of Van Buren and Pleasant, right near Brady Street. They say they found 3 27-year-old victims with gunshot wounds. All 3 were taken to the hospital, one with life-threatening injuries. Police say they are still searching for suspects. And another Walgreens closing in Milwaukee, the location at 27th and North, closing its doors as of today. The company says ongoing safety challenges made it difficult to continue operating that location. Prescriptions from the North Avenue store will automatically transfer to the Walgreens at 35th and Wisconsin. The company also saying it will offer customers free prescription delivery for 90 days. Time for news about your money, the WTMJ Annex Wealth Management Market Update. Everything now in the red. A rough go of it so far for the NASDAQ, down almost 2% at 25,673. The S&P 500 down over 1% at 7,378. And the Dow was off about 32 points at 51,680. Financial planning at every level, Annex Comprehensive Wealth, Annex Private Client, Annex Ignite. Details at annexwealth.com. Take a look at the roads, your WTMJ Time Saver traffic. We're just seeing some typical slowdowns in some of our work zones. So some of that 94 east and westbound right near the stadium. So between Hawley and 35th. And then kind of tapping the brakes as well, 41 southbound. That starts at Silver Spring and then gets better once you get past Capitol Drive. Otherwise, everything else moving along nicely. As for your forecast, plenty of sunshine today. We'll see a high around 70 degrees. Some increasing clouds tonight. We could maybe see a storm pop up, but a low down to 57. Better chances for some scattered showers and storms on Wednesday. High up around 77, and then should be sunny and pleasant again on Thursday with highs in the low 70s. Right now, 65 degrees in Sheboygan. We're sitting at 70 in Waukesha, and it's 68 degrees in Milwaukee. I'm Neil Doyle, Outdoor Living Unlimited, WTMJ News Time, 1034.
When I shop St. Vincent de Paul thrift stores, every time I come in, it's like a whole new store. It's because new inventory is arriving daily, all kinds of everything. And let me tell you, thrift store prices make buying easy. And helping others at the same time, that's icing on the cake. St. Vincent de Paul thrift stores on Highway 100 in Layton and Greenfield, 23rd in Lincoln, and 76th and Bradley Road in Milwaukee.
You're gonna love it, St. Vincent de Paul.
With an ever-changing inventory, you never know what great bargains you're going to be able to find at St. Vincent de Paul thrift stores. It makes shopping fun because the best finds are the ones you had no idea you'd even come across. And when they're at thrift store prices, it feels good. And it feels even better to know you're helping us help others. Shop St. Vincent de Paul thrift stores on Highway 100 in Layton and Greenfield, 23rd in Lincoln, and 76th and Bradley Road in Milwaukee.
You're gonna love it, St. Vincent de Paul.
Shopping for new windows and doors shouldn't feel like a negotiation. Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin doesn't believe in games. They never inflate pricing, and there's no high-pressure sales pitch. Just premium windows and doors built for long-term comfort, beauty, and peace of mind. Buy direct through Pella, and one trusted team handles everything with Pella-certified installers every step of the way. Real pricing, premium quality, no games. Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Schedule your free in-home consultation today at PellaWI.com.
A new era begins. Giannis is out. So who will step up for the Bucks?
From way downtown, A.J. Green. Miles Turner going downhill. He'll hammer it down. Another three on the way. Rollins sinks it again. With 9 to shoot, Kuzma cranks up a 3 and drills it. Lets it fly, and he buries it. Kevin Porter Jr., you are living right, my man.
Find all of your up-to-date Bucks storylines here on the home of the Bucks, WTMJ.
Thanks for tuning in on this Tuesday edition of Point Taken. As I always like to say, there's a couple ways you can go back and listen on WTMJ.com, or just search Point Taken on your favorite platform, and you can get all the shows, interviews, guests, fun stuff we do. I haven't really talked about this on the air, but we try to generally make the last half hour a little bit different than the first hour and a half. Just some lighter content, some fun stuff, some cultural stuff. I enjoy that.
I also enjoy that.
Yeah, and I think that's a good way to, because there's so much heavy politics, and we're going to get to a story here in a second. That, I mean, this is a very important race for governor of the state of Wisconsin, and I think as we talked about Friday, we would not be shocked if we see a couple more candidates.
Well, I think
drop.
you said it yesterday.
Yeah.
You were like, "Oh, I think there's rumors of 3 people
Yeah.
dropping out." And
first one.
Lo and behold, right after our show, Missy Hughes.
Yeah.
I would say, dare I say, your favorite of the Democratic candidates?
I like Missy because she worked for the WEDC, has a lot of firepower when it comes to economics and business. That's what I liked about her. She just never caught fire. I mean, she wasn't getting any traction in polling or even any buzz about her campaign. Not that any of the other ones are doing anything amazing. I mean, Fran Hong's obviously got the sort of the social media side of things and polling on her side. I mean, we'll see. The other candidates, I think people are mentioning, and that sort of, will they drop out? Will they endorse? And I did sort of a fun thing on the outline, which you guys don't see, but who will drop out and why will they endorse Sarah Rodriguez? Because there's a fear factor built into this.
Which is interesting because you said the rumor was 3 people.
Yeah.
And so we have one. Missy dropped out. She endorsed Sarah Rodriguez. Joel Brennan is out with a new ad today.
I know. Well, he's got money to spend. So.
And I actually think it's a pretty good ad. It's him playing basketball against his 6'7" son, which I didn't realize his son was that tall.
Well, he's tall.
He is tall, but he's not 6'7".
No.
And then who did Crowley got an endorsement this morning from? I
love how
from the firefighters.
Yeah, no surprise.
So I don't think he's going anywhere soon either. I don't think Kelda's going anywhere. And in fact, I think she had a pretty strong statement yesterday when this was her quote coming out of Missy dropping out and endorsing Sarah Rodriguez. Quote, "Voters are looking for a fighter who can beat Tiffany and stand up to Trump. After a generation of right-wing policies, this isn't a moment for timid moderates with no track record of delivering."
Yeah, the whole fighter thing on my side or your side, just stupid. You're not fighters.
So I don't know as far as, so it's down to 6, but I don't see,
We'll
at least,
find out.
because I think people would have thought Crowley or a Brennan, if you're really sticking to that rumor of 3 people.
Mm-hmm.
But with a new endorsement and this new ad, I don't know.
They have money to spend. So that's not surprising that they're actually spending their money. Maybe it's a last gasp. Hey, let's see if we get any traction in the next couple weeks. We obviously have the big debate coming July 28th on Channel 12 in Milwaukee. There's other forums, as we were talking about yesterday, all across the state. You're involved in one of those, aren't you?
We're doing a data center forum with all of them on the 29th at Turner Hall.
Is there a big difference on their opinions on data centers?
Fran Hong's the only one who actually wants a full moratorium.
Yeah.
I think Joel Brennan said things about getting rid of NDAs. So I think there is more. Yeah, but she is the only one who wants a full moratorium across the state on data centers going up.
I'm more fascinated with the fact that I think this is, especially the Sarah Rodriguez part of Missy Hughes dropping out. I use the term fear factor. Maybe that's too strong. Again, I'm not a Democrat, but I think there's concern among some people that Fran Hong, if she were lucky enough to win, and she could, I mean, she's been at the top or close to the top of the polls since she started her campaign. She's done brilliantly well on the sort of the communication side of things, which is not surprising because she's good at it. I think there's a concern that a Fran Hong-led Democratic Party going into the governor's race would not be a winnable race. I think that's something that some people are thinking. I'm not an expert on it, and I certainly don't know the Democratic Party like you do. I just think that's out there.
It's absolutely out there.
Yeah, and we're going to talk about it in the next segment. There's a lot of scholarship and writing that says, obviously, the Dem candidate will probably be left of Evers, right? Whoever it is, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Besides a Joel Brennan,
yeah,
I would say I think Sarah Rodriguez is kind of being trying to pin herself somewhere between Joel and Missy, and then Kelda. And I don't know. I'm trying to think of on a spectrum from center to left. It was probably in the center, Joel and Missy, then Sarah and David, and then Kelda, Mandela, and then Fran.
Yeah. So
if I had to
tell me if you agree or not. So if you had Fran Hong, the most far left of the candidates on the Democratic side, and then Tom Tiffany is one of the most conservative.
Who is? I mean, literally, because we're going to talk when we come back, we're going to talk about the most recent Craig Gilbert piece in the Milwaukee Journal-Sentinel. And he is literally one of not only the most conservative of the representatives in Wisconsin, but truly one of the most conservative overall.
Yeah.
And so that is a wide range.
They call that stark.
A potential Fran Hong versus Tom Tiffany.
Yeah.
general election, and that is a big question. This is what Craig talked about in his piece. Is
Yes.
What happens? What do moderates do in that situation?
Because here's the thing. It's one thing to win a Democratic primary. You're appealing to Democratic voters. To try to win over independent voters in the state of Wisconsin, which is how you win races, because they're always close, right? Generally, unless you're Tammy Baldwin, who just rubber stamps it every time she runs.
Her races are close, too, though. She
They're
wins.
not that close. Not compared to some of the other ones. Not the U.S. Senate race with Mandela Barnes and Ron Johnson, or some of the other races we've had. Presidential races, certainly we're talking 10 to 20,000 or 30,000 votes. She wins by bigger margins than that. But I'm fascinated by what the conversation will be, whoever the Democratic nominee is, and how they will go head-to-head against Tom Tiffany, who's way on the right, and what moderates, people who think like me, generally.
Well, that's what I think, because I think we have a lot of moderates who listen to us. So I'd be interested in a Fran Hong, Tom Tiffany matchup. Who are you voting for?
Yeah, well,
if you self-identify as a moderate.
Yeah, one of the texters just said, quick answer, used to be a moderate Democrat, giving Fran Hong a shot. So
there you go. 855-616-1620. Who in a ideologically split general election between Tom Tiffany and a Fran Hong, who are you voting for? We'll talk about that after this.
That bathroom of yours, its look has more than worn out its welcome. And a remodeling job? Right now, that's just a little too steep for your checkbook. Well, Lester's Glass Service can give your bathroom a fresh new look, an affordable upgrade that can really produce some pretty desirable results. You could replace that drab shower curtain and install a gorgeous new glass shower door. Why don't you come by our showroom in Hales Corners? And when you get here, we can share with you the myriad of options you have available. Decorative glass, stained glass, beveled mirrors, improvements you may not have realized you could do. This is Stacy Sinks with Les's Glass Service, and glass and mirrors have been our business for over 35 years. You know, my dad Les says, when you're good, you last. So if it's a new glass shower door, fogged or broken insulated glass replacement, or affordable glass and mirror home decor that you've been looking for, you just can't pass on Les's Glass. Les's Glass Service, serving all of southeastern Wisconsin. Find us at lesglassservice.com.
Enjoy life at Capri Communities, where senior living's our expertise. Caring staff that help you when you need. Enjoy life at Capri, making friends and memories. Living life to the fullest, you will love your new home. Enjoy life at Capri Communities.
The new fractured boulders we now have in stock are really nice. They're squarer and more rectangular in shape, and they're great for building dry-laid retaining walls. They're much easier to deal with, lock together nicely, and you get less gaps. No wet mortar needed. And we've stocked a multitude of colors. You can use them as an accent item to add character to your dry river or creek beds, too. Erickson's Landscape Supply. High-quality mulch and stone for a whole lot less. Commercial or residential. Visit ericksonslandscapesupply.com to see our entire selection. Our organic mulch is comprised of all trees. Most mulch is made from ground-up pallets, and you don't know what might have been spilled on those pallets. Could be chemicals or who knows what. But not our mulch, we're recycling trees. Many species of hardwoods. Cedar, hemlock, light brown, dark brown, mocha, black, red, gold, and caramel. 7 colors to choose from means a mulch to match any exterior. Erickson's Landscape Supply. High-quality mulch and stone for a whole lot less. Commercial or residential, visit ericksonslandscapesupply.com to see our entire selection.
Milwaukee Weight Loss knows the secret to losing up to 1 pound of fat every day with no drugs or surgery, and they will show you how to keep it off for good. Get your confidence and your health back. Right now, $200 off on their summer special for a limited time only. Go to MilwaukeeWeightLoss.com now to book your free consultation. Results may vary.
From my family and myself, I would like to say thank you to Gruber Law Offices for taking such good care of us.
I would say thank you because you were so human and so much of a friend during the whole process.
I'm super grateful for them representing me and doing all that they did for me.
I would just say thank you for making me feel better.
That's why I'm here, to say thank you, thank you, thank you.
Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all.
Welcome back to Point Taken. I'm Kristen, he's Steve, and we are talking about the pickle that moderates might be in this state. If it comes down to a potential Francesca Hong
versus Tom Tiffany general election, considering how far opposite on the political spectrum those two are. And so we asked for people who do identify as moderates what they would do in that situation. And we have a couple people saying they would vote Fran. We have a couple people saying if it wasn't Joel Brennan, they're going to vote for Tom Tiffany. One moderate said, I probably won't vote in that scenario, and they would just write in. So it's fascinating as far as because I do think there's something when you say I don't know if you want to call them more establishment or whatever part of the Democratic Party in Wisconsin that is nervous about a Francesca Hong general election because they see her as the most vulnerable to losing in a good year for Democrats, still vulnerable to losing to Tom Tiffany. But there's also a lot to be gained because I do think she is, as far as the momentum and the enthusiasm, someone that she has of how many volunteers she has, that it's just you're swinging for the rafters at that point.
Somebody made the claim, that's not the right word. Somebody said that she demonstrates her leadership skills by running a restaurant. Or I read something like that. Is that really the same thing as leading a state or being a leader? I don't think so.
I mean, that's the thing. I've thought about this a lot as I was doing the electing women fireside chat thing that I did back in May. Of who is ever really prepared for how big of a job governor is, or even, I mean, specifically, even more so president, but governor, right? As we're thinking about the qualifications that any of the candidates have right now, including Tom Tiffany, of being in the legislature is very different than being the executive. It's very different than running. I forgot what number I quoted in there, but it's tens of thousands of people who are employed under the executive branch. Yeah. And it all rolls up to you. And there's this different kind of delegation. There's a different kind of having the buck stop with you. There's a different kind of negotiation. And it is a very different job. And I don't think you ever really get anyone who is fully prepared on day one for what that job is. And you hope you're also electing someone who can grow into the job well.
I'll give you an example. Governor Tony Evers was from the Department of Public Instruction. He lived in the world of education. I would say that under his leadership, there were some successes, but there are also a lot of failures. We've talked about some of these things on the show. The fact that our scores are declining. We've had issues with some of the things going on in schools as far as sex offenses, and the fact that some of that was slept on, at least not investigated as thoroughly as some of the public would have liked, and other areas. And he came from that world. Being a restaurant owner, God bless you, that's a tough life. Long hours, hard work, not even questioning that. But I don't know that necessarily. I understand she's also a representative. So, I mean, she's doing the work. But being savvy on social media, being a great communicator to some people, in some people's eyes, and I think she is not necessarily the same thing as being a governor, rising to that level. Now, is Tom Tiffany a brilliant orator? No. I think I've interviewed everybody on this show except Sarah Rodriguez. I think you've interviewed her.
I've interviewed Sarah Rodriguez.
I have not.
You've never interviewed her?
I don't think we've done her together. That would be the time that I would have remembered. But I've interviewed everybody else, or at least talked to them. And I said it before, and I'm not shilling for Joel Brennan. In a one-on-one situation on the live on the radio, he was the best communicator of all of them. Clear ideas, vision for what he wants to do. Didn't attack his peers, his other candidates. I just thought he was a professional. Now, that being said, I'm under no illusion that Joel Brennan, barring some major surprise in the election, who knows, I guess, is going to win the nomination. So could he be number 2 of the potential 3 candidates? I don't know. And would he endorse Sarah Rodriguez? Also don't know. I just think there's this really running concern that Fran Hong's public pronouncements on social media platforms could come back to haunt her. Use of extreme profanity.
What qualifies as extreme profanity?
Dropping the F-bomb in conversations that don't really need the F-bomb. You know? I know a lot of people of my... I use it. Just listen to my podcast. You'll hear... But a lot of people don't like the use of that, especially in the written format when you're posting something. It's like, whew, did it really require that? Especially in the context of not like a funny story or something. It's like serious conversation. And I don't know. I think it's her past, her social media history is going to come back to haunt her. And Tom Tiffany's campaign, if she's the candidate, will go after her fiercely to say, this is what you want as governor. That's something that she has to pay attention to. Now, she's fearless, apparently. And she may not care. And maybe that's a good thing. I don't know. Maybe she's got that independent streak that's like, screw you. That's me.
Well, she is unapologetic.
Yeah.
Right? I would say more so than
She doesn't
any other
hide.
candidate that we have on the ballot right now.
Yeah. So I don't have the answers. I'm not a Democrat. But I think ultimately this race is about wooing independent voters. Will Fran Hong do that? Will Tom Tiffany do that? Too early to know. Two extremes on wild ends of the political spectrum. It's a fascinating race. I have no idea what would happen in that. And we don't even know who the candidates are on the left. So anyway, on the Democratic side. All right, we'll wrap up the first hour of the Tuesday edition. She's Chris and I'm Steve Point Taken.
WTMJ's Eric Bilstead here. Stop me if you've said this before. I can't raise my arms. I can't climb stairs. I can't even kneel down. Can't play with my kids, can't golf with my friends, or even get through a work day without exhausting joint pain. Well, how about we start celebrating what you can do? That's what patients at QC Kinetics are doing. They're not dealing with the pain, they're living their lives. QC Kinetics and its game-changing regenerative treatments done right at their office means no surgery, no missing work, and no long recovery. The inflammation calms down and the pain backs off. You and I both know life is great, and it's time to start living it again without that joint pain. Call QC Kinetics today. Here's the number, 414-667-5559. That's 414-667-5559. Schedule your free consultation. They'll even meet you on a Saturday. QC Kinetics, 414-667-5559. Call QC Kinetics today.
It's a great day for Brewers baseball, and with Brewers checking from Associated Bank, you get a powerful lineup of perks all season. Leading off is express entry with incredible speed. Next up, 20% off gear at the Brewers team store. Sporty stuff. And third, up to 50% off home game tickets. But if you can believe it, there's even more you can score. Because with Brewers checking, you get the strongest lineup in baseball. Only from Associated Bank. Join the crew at AssociatedBank.com/Brewers. Member FDIC.
This message reaches 1 million people or more every week. Spreading the gospel is more than one voice speaking to 1 million. It is and must continue to be 1 million voices, each speaking to one, pointing them to our friend Jesus.
The Lutheran Hour with Dr. Michael Ziegler.
The Lutheran Hour, Sunday mornings at 6:30 on WTMJ.
Drafty windows means wasted money. Call Siding Unlimited today for energy-efficient replacement windows and doors and start saving now. For a free estimate and honest price guarantee, go to sidingunlimited.com.
I'm WTMJ's Sandy Max. What makes senior living at Three Pillars so special?
The welcomeness. People are so friendly. If you have a problem, you can go to anybody. The community and the sense of safety provided for my mom and dad, and it's just like the most wonderful place to be.
They're just delightful everywhere. I don't see staff, I see friends. And I really do feel that.
And you couldn't live in more beautiful grounds.
Schedule a tour today at threepillars.org.
Are you hosting an event, launching something new, wanting to get the word out about your part of the state? Be a featured guest on the WTMJ Experience Wisconsin show. Share your story, promote your event or business, and connect with fans all across the state. I'm John Merkier. I'd love to interview you. We reach listeners from Milwaukee to Madison, Green Bay to La Crosse, everywhere in between. It's Experience Wisconsin. Ready to shine a spotlight on your business or company? Email me, john@WTMJ.com for more information. john@WTMJ.com.
WTMJ, W277CV, and WKTI HD2 Milwaukee from the Annex Wealth Management Studios. This is News Radio WTMJ, a Good Karma brand station.
Texter made a great point. I was talking about the use of profanity by Francesca Hong, candidate for the Democratic nomination for governor. Texter 262. Donald Trump lowered the bar with vulgarity. So he was dropping F-bomb yesterday. I saw some coverage.
In regards to which topic?
Reflecting pool, probably.
Oh, okay.
I mean, I didn't want to spend much time on that because, frankly, it disgusts me. And I'll just throw this out here because I just sent a note to some people here that work here. I don't believe one word the president's saying about the vandalism that he says happened at the reflecting pool, that someone took a knife and cut it, and that's the reason that the paint's not adhering and algae. I said last week, I think it was on Friday, maybe Thursday, that it's an allegory or comparison to how this president approaches everything. Very superficial, no research, no depth of understanding. There was a way to fix the reflecting pool, but it requires smart people that understand what's going on with that old monument or older monument, not one of the oldest, but old enough, and to fix it the right way. Well, he didn't do that. He hired some schmo that basically was a campaign donor, gave him $14 million, and they, for lack of a better phrase, effed it up. To go back to my
full circle.
Full circle. So it's just frustrating to me that we're not seeing, and this is where real journal, like Maggie Haberman was just on.
For Regime Change, the new book.
Yeah, which I just ordered, by the way, this morning. I'm not seeing local journalists, and this is my critique, so you can fire away at me. Don't go after the station, go after me. Attacking what I think are clearly false statements. That should be, it's not on both sides. Just because he says it doesn't make it true. You should be going after this stuff. You should be investigating these words. Was there vandalism? I don't think so. Prove it. And the president hasn't proven it. He doesn't even know how long the reflecting pool is. He said it was like 450. It's like under 200 feet or something like that, or 200 meters, whatever it is. He doesn't even know.
I think we got to go to news.
Yeah. All right. Let's get the news. That's just my rant of the day.
Got it.
Thank you for that. Appreciate it.
Save on the best quality furniture and mattresses during the July Independence Day sale at Ken Michaels Furniture. With major discounts from our premier suppliers, you will save big on top brands like Bradington Young, made in the foothills of the Great Smoky Mountains. Bradington Young is known for its fine quality leather upholstery. Yours brings you modern Scandinavian design recliners and sofas, ergonomically engineered for more hip and back support. Norwalk, with American roots that go back over 100 years, specializes in making furniture just for you. Choose the piece, style, fabric, or leather you want, and in just 35 days, we'll deliver your new sofa, chair, or sectional. In-stock or special orders are all sale priced. Need a little help putting it all together? At Ken Michaels Furniture, our design staff is ready to help you with your purchases, and it's free. Stop in today and save now during the Independence Day sale at Ken Michaels Furniture on Capitol Drive in Brookfield, Highway 100 in Greenfield, or our downtown Mattress Factory showroom.
Hey, check this out. How about a free dinner at a great place, the historic Fox and Hound Supper Club, tonight? WTMJ's John Mercure here. I highly recommend this great place. When you buy one dinner, your second dinner's free, even on the weekends. Wow. You're going to love the twin lobster tails, pecan-crusted salmon, steak and lobster, pasta dishes, even prime rib on Saturdays, any entree, all buy one, get one free, desserts, huge ice cream drinks, buy one, get one free. So de-stress with a cocktail. Choose from 20 bourbons, 120 wines in the timbered rustic bar, 8 gorgeous dining rooms. I recommend the magnificent all-you-care-to-eat Sunday brunch. Kids and grandkids under 3 eat for free. The Fox and Hounds, tucked into the Kettle Moraine Forest, right near Holy Hill. The summer drive is spectacular. I mean, it's poppin'. A Wisconsin must-see. Escape from your kitchen with a free dinner this weekend, serving Saturday lunch from 11 till 2, dinner at 3 p.m. Tables are open tonight and tomorrow. Google Fox and Hounds, call and reserve.
Many people feeling close to retirement ask themselves, do I have enough?
Am I missing something?
At Diversified Wealth Strategies, we provide clarity during our complimentary, no-pressure consultation. We're independent advisors using big firm tools with a boutique-style approach.
And no crickets. We stay in touch so you're never left wondering.
At Diversified Wealth Strategies, let us show you how to capture the upside, limit the downside, and feel good inside.
Visit dwstrategies.com.
Securities and investment services offered through Mosaic Wealth Inc. Member FINRA SIPC. Mosaic Wealth is separately owned, and other entities and/or marketing names, products, or services referenced here are independent of Mosaic Wealth.
Giving your liver a spring cleaning is easy with Active Liver from New Nordic. Search for Active Liver by New Nordic on Amazon, CVS, Wegmans, or GNC.
The place you want to go, Lynch McWanago.
Nobody sells for less than Lynch.
A new era begins. Giannis is out. So who will step up for the Bucks?
From way downtown, A.J. Green. Miles Turner going downhill. He'll hammer it down. Another three on the way. Rollins sinks it again. With 9 to shoot, Kuzma cranks up a 3 and drills it. Lets it fly, and he buries it. Kevin Porter Jr., you are living right, my man.
Find all of your up-to-date Bucks storylines here on the home of the Bucks. News Radio WTMJ, Milwaukee.
At 11:01, it's 67 degrees. Plenty of sunshine with a high getting up around 70. From the WTMJ Breaking News Center, I'm Neil Doyle. It will likely go down as the biggest move in Bucks franchise history. Giannis Antetokounmpo traded to the Miami Heat after 13 seasons in Milwaukee. A two-time MVP, Giannis certainly going to be remembered for bringing an NBA title to the city in 2021.
You know, there's good days, bad days. Some days you are able to be successful, some days you're not. Some days it's your turn, some days it's not your turn. And that's what sports is about. You don't always win. Some other people's going to win. And this year, somebody else is going to win.
In part of the deal, the Bucks getting 4 players from Miami, and that includes Greenfield native Tyler Hero, along with 3 first-round picks. First round of the draft is tonight. A Franklin strip club accused of allowing prostitution inside of its business is having its case move forward in court.
On the Border made its initial appearance Monday on a felony charge of keeping a place of prostitution. A court commissioner found probable cause to continue the case. Prosecutors allege employees knowingly allowed commercial sex acts inside the club and profited from them. The charge stems from a broader human trafficking investigation that previously led to charges against 4 men connected to the business. The club remains open. The Franklin Common Council has started the process that could lead to the club's license being revoked. Nizer Spencer, WTMJ News.
A win for food trucks in downtown Milwaukee as the city is trying to force earlier closing times.
A Milwaukee County Circuit Court judge has blocked the enforcement of a 10 p.m. curfew while the case continues. The order follows a lawsuit filed by the Wisconsin Institute for Law and Liberty on behalf of the Fatty Patty food truck. The city ordinance would have banned downtown food trucks from operating after 10 p.m., but would not affect brick-and-mortar restaurants or bars. The judge wrote that the city, quote, offered no proof, just naked conclusions that reducing food truck operating hours would deter crowds and violence. Jessica Gatso, WTMJ News.
And the Supreme Court releasing decisions before they take their annual summer break. More from News Nation's Marnie Hughes.
We are waiting on 4 major cases involving President Trump's power, including whether he can redefine birthright citizenship, fire a governor of the Federal Reserve, consolidate power over independent agencies, or strip protections from hundreds of thousands of immigrants. And another key ruling also set to come down could decide the fate of transgender athletes' ability to participate in school sports.
Some of those decisions expected to be released on Thursday. Time for news about your money. The WTMJ Annex Wealth Management market update. A bit of a mixed bag, but a rough go of it for the NASDAQ, down over 400 points at 25,756. The S&P 500 is down about 1% as well at 7,393. And the Dow is up 44 points at 51,757. Financial planning at every level. Annex Comprehensive Wealth, Annex Private Client, Annex Ignite. Details at annexwealth.com. Sports, traffic, weather are next. Outdoor Living Unlimited, WTMJ News Time, 11:04.
For 176 years, St. Vincent de Paul Society of Milwaukee has been neighbors helping neighbors, working to eliminate poverty and hunger with compassion and dignity. When families face hard times, our volunteers step in. Over 600 trained volunteers ready to meet people where they're at, in their homes. And that's what our Neighbors Helping Neighbors home visit program is all about. Volunteers travel in pairs, listening first, then offering personalized support. They provide families and individuals with things like furniture, beds, food, clothing, and connect them to vital community resources. Help that provides stability during challenging times. These home visits don't just address an immediate need. They help create a safer, more stable future for our families and individuals in our community. Last year alone, St. Vincent de Paul Society volunteers completed nearly 11,000 home visits across Milwaukee County, serving those who need us most. Together, we are neighbors helping neighbors. To learn more about our mission or get involved, visit svdpmilw.org.
Bo here from Ridgetop Exteriors. Southern Wisconsin got hit hard with hail recently. If your home took a beating, now's the time to take action. We've been delivering top quality roofing, siding, and window services locally for over 23 years. With free damage assessments and insurance experts on staff, we've been your licensed, local, and trusted contractor since day one. Don't wait until small damage becomes a big problem. Turn to Ridgetop Exteriors today. RidgetopExteriors.com. That's RidgetopExteriors.com.
Ridgetop Exteriors.
Are you looking for a welcoming place to unwind? Vince Vitrano here. Our family found a home at Racine Country Club. Premier golf on the historic championship course, rolling terrain, famously fast greens, tight fairways, and scenic Root River views. Work your game year-round with indoor simulators, hitting bays, top-notch practice facilities, and leagues for every level. Plus, at Racine Country Club, you enjoy elevated dining, swimming, and a full calendar of family-friendly events. Join me on the course at Racine Country Club, racinecountryclub.com. BrewersBaseball.com.
Time for a WTMJ sports update from the Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all sports desk. After the big blockbuster trade of Giannis to Miami, certainly setting up to be a busy night for the Bucks as it's round one of the NBA draft. The Bucks now with 2 picks in the first round, sitting with the 10th and 13th selections. Draft starting tonight, 7 o'clock at the Barclays Center in Brooklyn. Game 2 tonight between the Brewers and Reds. Milwaukee coming off a 2-1 win in extra innings yesterday. Brandon Woodruff making his first start since April 30th. Had a perfect game going into the 6th inning. He did allow a hit, but no walks and 10 strikeouts. Manager Pat Murphy.
Really happy for him and really happy for our team because what he means to the club and how he goes about his business. And, yeah, it's just he's special, man. Special outing.
Brandon Sproat taking the mound for the Brewers tonight. All of our coverage starting at 5:35 here on WTMJ. Take a look at the roads, your WTMJ time saver traffic. Seeing just some typical slowdowns, 94 east and westbound near the stadium. A little slow as well on portions of 41 in the work zone there. Otherwise, full speeds across the system. Plenty of sunshine today. We'll see a high around 70 degrees. Some increasing clouds tonight. We could maybe see a pop-up shower or storm, a low down to 57. Better chances for some scattered showers and storms throughout the day on Wednesday with a high of 77. And then sunny and pleasant heading into Thursday with highs in the low 70s. Right now, 71 degrees in Madison, sitting at 65 in Kenosha, and it's 67 degrees in Milwaukee. I'm Neil Doyle, Outdoor Living Unlimited, WTMJ News Time, 11:08.
Broadcasting live from the Annex Wealth Management Studios at the Avenue. It's time for Point Taken. Here are your hosts, Steve Scafidi and Kristen Bry.
What would you do if your local high school didn't have any sports? Would you move out of the district? Would you send your kid to a private school? How important are sports or arts to your school experience?
Why do you ask that, Kristen?
I am asking that because for our Kenosha listeners, you might be aware that they have a big referendum that is coming this fall, as many school districts have become used to doing. And for them, they have the Kenosha Unified School District has a $17 million deficit. And if the referendum fails, they are weighing their options of how they're going to make that up. And one of them includes cutting their sports programs and art programs. And I saw this headline from WPR, and that just kind of was like a gut punch as far as, because I am someone, I know you're a big basics guy.
Mm-hmm.
I am, obviously you need to learn how to read and do math, but I'm also a big fan of like the well-roundedness of opportunities at school. And so not having any sports programs, I mean, if I was in that situation, I'm not sure I'm sending my kid to Kenosha High School.
Yeah, in many ways, sports programs, some of the great things that bands are doing, marching bands, that defines your school. You win state titles, you win, trophies. If you're talking about sports, it's in many ways it's the bonus stuff that everyone loves about going to school, whether it's that level or college. You cheer for your team.
Well, it's not even cheering for your team. It's just the opportunity to be involved in things. Like I've said it many times as far as what being a part of team sports teaches as far as character and how to lose, how to win, how to be a teammate. Like there's a lot of things that come from playing sports that has nothing to do with getting a scholarship and playing after high school.
Sure.
But I just think there's a lot of things, the same things with being in the arts and auditioning for the play and learning how to not get the lead. And there's just a lot of other life lessons that come from extracurriculars that I think are really important. And I don't know if this is like a scare tactic from the superintendent to try to get momentum, because the last time
that's one of the board members basically said.
Well, because the last time they had a referendum, it lost by 8 points.
Mm-hmm.
And so in the attempt to try to motivate voters to get out and vote for this thing, but I mean, what would you do?
Okay, so yeah, you set it up perfectly. So you know this because I've told you about this. And I mentioned on the show a couple times. I'm doing some research on the competition between schools to get students
for open enrollment.
Yes, so that's sort of a side project I'm working on. And it's like a lot of homework and heavy lifting you have to do. And I'll get to some final product, whether it's a news story, whether it's a podcast, whether it's on the show, we'll see at some point because I'm still learning a lot about it. But the interesting thing about that decision-making is I'll give one of my teammates credit. Vince Vitrano reported probably a year and a half, 2 years ago on operational deficits that we're going to really start hitting now across the state. Schools who don't have the money to just do basic things. Now, you asked the question, so I'm going to answer it specifically. Is this a threat? Yeah, it's a threat. Superintendent's saying to his residents, his voters, basically, the ones that vote in the referendum, we need you to vote yes here.
This is what's at stake.
Yes, because you will lose. Whether they do it or not, we'll see. I guess if it does lose, and it lost by 8 points last time, they don't have a hard decision to make. But this problem is not going away. Every school district is facing that for a myriad of reasons. One, increased competition. They're losing students to other districts. Choice, charter, private, students are going there. Many of their student populations are decreasing. Teachers are moving away to different careers. You can factor in Act 10 and all the aftermath of that. The fact that it gets harder and harder to teach kids because all the distractions. It's a very, very complex issue. But school districts are faced with the reality that they can't hide from. How do you pay for things? And I will say this, as somebody who has seen in my community, Oak Creek Franklin School District, I think we passed 3 or 4 consecutive referendums for everything from sports stadiums to we're building 2 new pools. One a competition pool, one is sort of a community pool attached to the high school. Our high school complex is now like 4 city blocks. It's massive. So when you come to us, and I think they will at some point in Oak Creek Franklin School District, we need more money to operate. We're going to be faced with the same choices. How much money are you going to bleed out of us? Because if you are on a fixed income, and we have a lot of seniors in Oak Creek, you don't have extra money to pay $300 extra each year on your property tax bill, and that's where that money is received, right, or given. So I don't know what they do. There are tough choices. That's why I'm a basics guy, because as much I agree with everything you said about the opportunities and the incredible things that all of these other things do, orchestra, band, theater, sports, any extracurricular, basically, give to people. But at some point, the population, the public says, how are we going to pay for this? We have to stay open.
But
and how are we going to do it?
What is the slippery slope of that decision as far as if you're a young family and all of a sudden you feel like, well, the public school district in Kenosha is not great, and so then you start looking for a different place to live. And so, like, what is the downward spiral of that city when you let your public schools just fail?
Significant. You can do as much as you want on the economic side and business. Schools are what
right? As a mom of a young child,
that drives
like in the next
choices.
couple of years, having to make decisions on where we want to live, where we want to send our kid to school, like that is a big priority for families when picking a place to live.
If you're asking me how real it is, I don't think it's real. I don't think they're going to cut sports, but it's a real threat. Whether it changes the votes, I have no idea. But this referendum thing is not going away because of our funding, the way we fund. Again, Republicans, all the things they did 15 years ago, that's why we're seeing the referendums. You said school districts could fund things this way. No surprise, school districts are going after referendums because that's how they fund things.
Let's take a break quickly because I know that you are doing this side project. And so I would like to know, of the school board members or the teachers that you're talking to, what is the number one thing that they think needs to be fixed?
Good
so we'll
question.
talk about that after this.
Man, I love this place. I've been surfing here since I was a kid. Now, seeing my grandson out on the water, it means everything to me. Watching him and taking in the blue waves, the sea breeze, the blurry horizon.
If you have geographic atrophy, or GA, subtle changes in vision could mean it's progressing toward irreversible vision loss. Izervay is proven to slow GA progression and could help preserve your vision for longer, so you may keep seeing the world around you. Izervay, or avacincaptad pegol, is an eye injection. Don't take it if you have an infection or active swelling in or around your eye. Izervay can cause eye infection, retinal detachment, or increased risk of wet AMD. Izervay may cause blood in the white of the eye, blurred vision, or a temporary increase in eye pressure. Do not drive or use machinery until vision has recovered after an eye injection or exam. Ask your retina specialist how you can slow your GA with Izervay. To learn more, call 1-855-IZERVAY or go to izervay.com. Paid for by Astellas Pharma.
Tell them you want hardwood, but make it affordable. Vince Vitrano here for Hunt's Flooring. A lot of people think hardwood flooring is out of their price range. We did. Then we visited Hunt's Flooring in Greenfield. Right there on Highway 100, Hunt's has a large inventory of hardwood in stock at discounted pricing. We just got Phil to show us around, see what he had priced to move, and we locked in a great deal. We were able to do our entire first floor. These are in-store deals only, not something you find online. Stop in, take a look, tell them Vinny sent you to Hunt's Flooring in Greenfield.
Hey, this is WTMJ Steve Scaffidi. Have you listened to WTMJ Outdoors yet? Well, what are you waiting for? Every Saturday at 2 right here on 620 WTMJ. Stories of the outdoors in Wisconsin and beyond as we celebrate everything in recreation. This week, ever think about doing a swim in an icy cold lake? Well, Chris Ballard joins us, author of The Plunge. He's done it. He tells us about it. And lots more with recreation and sports and outdoors in Wisconsin. Join us.
It's WTMJ Outdoors, presented by Outdoor Living Unlimited.
Thanks for listening on this Tuesday. Kristen asked a great question. What am I hearing from my interviews that I've done with school board members, and in some cases school board presidents, from 3 different districts? The number one thing they talk about is funding and how we fund our schools.
The how, not...
Yeah.
So you're not... Is it that they're not getting enough money, or is it that how the funding works needs to be totally upended?
It puts them in an adversarial position with their constituents, their residents. That's one thing. But 2, special needs funding has not kept pace. That's why it was included in the tax relief bill that never happened. They're just upset that they are continuing to be challenged by budgets, and to a person. And I've had other conversations in emails that I haven't met where I haven't met them in person. It's harder and harder to just do the basics, to get teachers paid, to get teachers hired, to do all the things that are required of a school district.
So is the answer that they don't have enough money?
Yes,
but
for operations.
For operations,
now, there is another side to this, and I've been trying to.
Because then, so when you're getting that firsthand conversation, then we have someone like a candidate, Tom Tiffany, saying, this is the most money we've ever spent per pupil. And so is that just a function of things are more expensive, inflation, and like it's obvious that everything gets more expensive, and yet it still can be like that can both be true that we're spending more per pupil than we've ever spent, and it's still not enough. Is that a feasible
I mean,
duality?
Everything goes up. The Act 10 reality is that for everybody, I was an Act 10 supporter. Everyone that supported, yes, because and even school district members and presidents will tell you that in some cases, some districts were just spending money like nobody's business. They weren't the majority, but that's sort of what led to some of the Act 10 vitriol and some of the commentary that was made by Republicans. But the reality is that when you cap things, none of the costs freeze over time. So you're screwed by that. That's why we saw the aid for local governments. They couldn't do anything. They had cut what they could cut. Services got cut. Positions got cut. I mean, Oak Creek, we were doing more with less for the last few years of my administration because we just didn't have extra money to go around. And that's the reality of that. So for schools, it's no different. It's why when Vince did the series of his shows on operational costs, it's a fiscal cliff. You can't fix it without making claims or asking your constituents for more money. There is a point, though, and this is a fair point. A lot of texters are talking about this. There is sort of infatuation with sports. And I'm not going to name names with districts, but the fanciest facilities, you want an extreme example, go to anywhere in suburban Dallas. They have football stadiums for high school that are better than most of the universities in the state of Wisconsin, other than Camp Randall. It's not even, luxury boxes for high school games. We're not to that extreme, but there are some pretty cool sports complexes in our area: baseball, football, soccer, lacrosse. Every sport. It is something that most taxpayers look at and say, maybe we could have not spent that much on that stuff and maybe put some of that into operational. I think that's a fair assessment.
Doesn't some of that sometimes come from like big donors too, though?
Yes, and that is a qualifier.
Money?
That is a qualifier. But I think it's frustrating. We all want the best. We certainly want to live in a district that has great schools, because that's anytime you do a survey on why people move places, that's top 3.
For sure.
Often top 1.
It's the amount of people who are, I'll put myself as an example, right? I am a city person. I love being able to walk to a bodega, restaurants. I love like how condensed it is and the energy that creates that. The prospect of moving to a suburb for me is like not exciting. But in the reality of making those choices for a better school, now that I have a kid, I totally understand why people do that. And it happens a lot. Like I have friends who were on the east side of Milwaukee, and they were just outside of the Maryland Montessori district. They did open enrollment, tried to get in. They didn't get in. They moved to Whitefish Bay.
Yeah.
Like that was just
Happens
like
all the
because
time.
they didn't get in there. And like we think about that. I mean, I love River West. I love our neighborhood, but like we certainly think about, if we could get a house in Shorewood. Like Shorewood's a really good school district, and it still feels like a city and part of the city. And so it's absolutely one of the top reasons of where people choose to live once they have kids.
Look, being a school board member, school board president, working in a school district is not easy. For all the reasons we've talked about, whether it's mental health, concerns for kids, special needs, that they're not getting enough funding, whether it's the challenge of the way kids behave in school, teachers not feeling satisfied by their work anymore because they've been sort of dumbed down when it comes to some of their compensation and the way they've been treated by parents reaction or interaction, I should say, with school board members, so that now what used to be a complimentary relationship is now adversarial. And you just have to watch a school board meeting on any controversial topic to see that that's true. And I've been to a bunch of them, trust me. We have to change the dynamic. I understand that making threats is sort of a last gasp by Kenosha, but to your point, this is not good news for Kenosha. It will not make their community better. It is something that people do look at when they look at their schools, the opportunities beyond just the basics, which I'm a big fan of. But I think the fundamental reason why these things are happening is the challenges of budgeting, but two, we are in a dire, horrible situation when it comes to how we fund schools. Whatever your side is, we have to straighten this out.
Does
And
it
has
surprise
to
you
be
that the
changed.
candidates aren't talking about that part
Yes!
more? Because they're definitely talking about, some are talking about getting rid of school choice, and some are talking about how we need to fund schools better.
Yeah.
But I feel like I'm hearing less as far as we need to rethink what the formula is.
Because it's a messy, complex issues are messy to solve. It's not easy to talk about them. It's often.
Do you think Republicans are talking about it? Do you think, like, when you talk to people on your
No,
side of the
not
aisle?
to any depth, not to any depth of understanding. You think they're going out and talking to school board members? Maybe, I hope so. And I guess if you're talking about the governor's race, that's Tom Tiffany. I hope he does. But he's in the northern part of the state where most of the people don't live. Their school reality.
Well, they also have school
Yeah.
issues as far as
Because they have no
declining.
people. Yeah, they have no
exactly.
people.
As far as how do
Yeah.
you how far do you make any one kid travel in order to get to school?
Yeah.
In order to decrease the amount of schools because there's less kids.
Oh, another one I hear a lot of? Why do we have buses in school districts when often there's no kids riding the buses? They have to provide busing because it's required, but often the kids choose not to use the buses. They take their own transportation or hitch a ride or their parents drop them off. But they're required to have these routes. It's like, is that fiscally responsible? Maybe we should look at that.
I did not know that was an issue.
That was a big one that came up.
For Oak Creek or for Milwaukee?
I'm not going to pin it on Oak Creek because I'm in Oak Creek, but I heard it from two different districts.
Huh.
Why do we pay for buses when kids don't choose to ride?
Is that like
them?
a state law?
I believe so.
Huh.
Yeah. Interesting. And the point about driving is also a fascinating one. How long should a kid be on a bus to save money? Hour? Would you want to tack an hour? I used to live in San Francisco.
I mean, yeah, especially in the shortest days of the year, you have
Yeah.
kids getting on bus when it's still dark outside and coming home when it's dark outside. I don't
Yeah.
know. It's not a great solution.
Anyway, Kenosha schools threatening cutting sports. Interesting conversation. We'll find out when that referendum happens. Quick break.
Get the help you need Saturday morning with How To Radio. At 7, it's the WTMJ Fix It Show with David Nason, featuring great tips on how to operate your home. At 9, plan your dream vacation with the Fox World Travel Show. Yet at 10, get financial guidance during Money Talk. Contact Annex Wealth Management for an unbiased review of your investments at annexwealth.com. How To Radio, Saturday mornings on WTMJ.
Hey, it's WTMJ Steve Skibby for Annex Wealth Management. Navigating the loss of a partner, whether through death, divorce, health crisis, can feel overwhelming. If you've never been responsible for managing the finances, it's natural to wonder, where do I begin? Who can help? Annex Wealth Management is here to support you with their continuing dedication designed to inform empower, and guide you through life's unexpected transitions. Here's what you can do. You can join Annex for 2 in-person events focused on single and retirement financial planning strategies. Talked about this with Dave Spano on Monday. For those who age alone. And the Women in Wealth series continues with Women in Wealth in full bloom at Borner Botanical Gardens, great location. An evening of connection, appreciation in the community. Reserve your free spot at annexwealth.com under the Events tab. Annex Wealth Management, you know this, operates as a fee-only fiduciary, which means they're legally obligated to act in your best interest. No commissions, no pressure to buy products, just focused, customized planning for retirement investments, tax strategies, and estate planning, all brought together under one roof. And they're local. Annex started right here in Wisconsin. Their incredible office in Brookfield, Mequon, Lake Country, downtown at the Fisher, which I love, and now Whitefish Bay. Or you can connect virtually if that's your thing. Easier than ever to get the professional guides you or your business deserves. Know the difference. With Annex Wealth Management, click the now famous Get Started button at annexwealth.com.
MW Marine.
Celebrate summer with the 4th of July boat sale at MW Marine. Check out the new 2026 Lund, Ranger, and Vexus boats powered by Mercury Outboards. All priced to move during this special holiday event. Ask about remaining closeout models with deep discounted pricing at MW Marine. They'll help keep your boat ready for the water with expert service and convenient outdoor storage. Make this your best summer yet at MW Marine, where 4th of July savings are making waves.
At Blaine's Farm and Fleet, we know inspiration's in full swing this time of year. So bring us your wild ideas and we'll bring the value on the quality supplies you need to make it happen at unbeatably low prices. Right now, during our lawn care sale, Estate Weed and Feed or lawn fertilizer, $5 off. 30% off select flower planters. Plus a 256-piece Craftsman Mechanics tool set, $99.99. Find value on everything to do your thing. Blaine's Farm and Fleet. Be an original.
Shopping for new windows and doors shouldn't feel like a negotiation. Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin doesn't believe in games. They never inflate pricing, and there's no high-pressure sales pitch. Just premium windows and doors built for long-term comfort, beauty, and peace of mind. Buy direct through Pella, and one trusted team handles everything with Pella-certified installers every step of the way. Real pricing, premium quality, no games. Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Schedule your free in-home consultation today at PellaWI.com.
Big threat by Kenosha schools to cut sports. 40 teaching positions. It's not just sports. That's also part of this this threat from the school board president.
Someone from the 715 suggested that clubs, so perhaps as districts are forced to tighten their belts, sports, the arts, and clubs will need to be outsourced to the private sector and no longer be tied to schools. I hate that option. There's already such disparity around, I mean, especially with sports, as far as families that can afford it versus those that can't. Yeah. And to just have it all be privatized for money as far as opportunities to be involved in things, I hate that option. Yeah. I mean, I'm not saying it's not possible, but I just, it doesn't feel like the right. Feels like we should explore other things before that.
If you look at club sports, it's already happening. This one from the 262, former school board president, current mayor. I will tell you that we need to look at how we fund local government in the state. Relying on the property tax is ridiculous. It's unfair tax. Why should some elderly person be taxed out of their home simply because it's worth 10 times what it was when they bought it? That's a real problem for a lot of people. We have to be like other states that have more revenue diversification. It is the answer to figure it out, but we're not in any rush to figure out how we fund things. It's just it's the classic, this is the way we do it. Deal with it. And that sucks. The status quo is not working, and that's why we see threats from places like Kenosha to just get rid of everything that people love. Sports, arts, all the cool stuff. ABC.
ABC News, I'm Wayne Cabot. It just got easier for lawful permanent residents to be deported. The Supreme Court conservative majority saying border agents may remove from the U.S. green card holders who may have committed a crime involving moral turpitude. The court ruling against a dreadlocked Rastafarian whose hair was cut in prison in Louisiana. The justice is saying that federal law protects religious rights of inmates, but it does not mint on inspections, despite what the U.S. is saying.
President Trump, he's defending this deal with Iran, claiming in posts on social media that Iran has fully and completely agreed to these high-level, limitless nuclear inspections, he says.
ABC's Britt Clennett in Jerusalem. Iranian oil tankers are on their way to the open market, a decades-long naval blockade lifted under Iran's memorandum of understanding with the U.S. This is ABC News.
Outdoor Living Unlimited, WTMJ News Time, 11:31. I'm Neil Doyle. Bucks fans and city leaders continuing to weigh in on the blockbuster deal sending Giannis to the Miami Heat along with Bobby Portis.
Giannis once called Milwaukee his bleepin' city. Now, as the Greek Freak trades the Cream City for the Magic City of Miami, Milwaukee Mayor Cavalier Johnson admits Giannis's role as an ambassador for the 414 will be difficult to replace.
Giannis is a one-of-a-kind person who has got so many accolades. Like, he had to earn that, and he fought for that and worked very hard in honing his craft in order for that to happen. So the next chapter in Bucks basketball will have to do the same thing if they want to live up to the stature that Giannis has created here.
At City Hall, Adam Roberts, WTMJ News.
Milwaukee police are continuing to investigate a triple shooting that happened early this morning. Officers called to the area of Van Buren and Pleasant, right near Brady. This was just before 2 o'clock. They say they found 3 27-year-old victims with gunshot wounds. All 3 were taken to the hospital, one with life-threatening injuries. Police say they're still searching for suspects. And Microsoft's first data center in Mount Pleasant now officially online after being completed ahead of schedule. The company says the facility is currently employing about 550 people. Microsoft saying they're also investing nearly $5 billion into Southeast Wisconsin over the next 2 years as they continue to expand their data center campus. Work is already underway on a second facility. Plans then to grow the workforce to roughly about 800 employees once it's completed. Time for news about your money, the WTMJ Annex Wealth Management Market Update. A bit of a mixed bag continuing. The NASDAQ is down over 1% at 25,791. The S&P 500 off about 71 points at 7,400. And the Dow is up 110 at 51,823. Financial planning at every level. Annex Comprehensive Wealth, Annex Private Client, Annex Ignite. Details at annexwealth.com. Let's take a look at the roads. Your WTMJ time saver traffic, kind of tapping the brakes, 94 east and westbound right near the stadium, kind of in our typical spot there, right between 35th and Hawley Road, and then kind of slow as well, 41 southbound. As I say that, kind of easing up. So just some of our work zone areas. Otherwise, rest of the system, everything moving along nicely. Plenty of sunshine as we move throughout the rest of your Tuesday. High up around 70 degrees. We'll see some increasing clouds, maybe a spotty shower or storm tonight. A low down to 57. Better chance for scattered showers and storms throughout the day on Wednesday with a high of 77. And then sunny and pleasant conditions returning on Thursday. Highs in the low 70s. Right now, 66 degrees in Sheboygan, sitting at 71 in Waukesha, and it's 68 degrees in Milwaukee. I'm Neil Doyle, Outdoor Living Unlimited, WTMJ News Time, 11:34.
Hey, WTMJ's John Mercure here for Griffin Ford in Waukesha. Hey, if you've been thinking about a new vehicle, now's the time to take a serious look at Griffin Ford's Ford American Value for American Values Employee Pricing event. This is great. For a limited time, you pay what employees pay. That's right, employee pricing on a huge selection of new Ford vehicles. Right now, they have 50-plus all-wheel drive Ford Explorers in stock starting at $38,978. How about the 2026 Ford Bronco Sport all-wheel drive? More than 20 in stock starting at $28,995. And Escape owners get an additional $1,000 off. But what really sets Griffin Ford apart is inventory. Griffin Ford is one of the largest selections of new Ford vehicles anywhere in Wisconsin. That means you're not spending hours searching dealer to dealer or settling for something close to what you wanted. You can choose the color, trim, level, and features that fit your style. It's Griffin Ford in Waukesha. I buy my cars at Griffin. You can also do it online at griffinford.com.
Our children deserve a real chance to make it in life, and a good education is a passport to opportunity. At City Ford Collective, we're working to make sure there's a great Milwaukee school for every Milwaukee family, because more good options lead to better outcomes. And who doesn't want that? Together, we can give every child the foundation they need to thrive, and a stronger future for kids means a stronger future for Milwaukee. To learn more about our mission, visit us at cityfordcollective.org. That's cityfordcollective.org.
Staples Easy Deal Days are here. Score up to 50% off more than 1,000 products in-store and online. It all ends July 4th. Staples, that was easy.
I kind of have to laugh because often, I think you sometimes hear Republicans in Wisconsin say, we don't want Wisconsin to be like Minnesota. Have you heard that before, Steve?
Oh, yes. I actually like Minnesota except for their
But
football
it
team.
turns out, at least according to this new report of the State of the States, overall state average rank across 31 different categories, Minnesota, number 1. We are, across all the averages, 8. But in this is called State of the State Report 2026. It's a commemoration of America's 250th anniversary. If you go to stateofthenation.org, you can find it. It's a fascinating report as far as different conclusions. Obviously, when Milwaukee Journal-Sentinel reported on this, they're looking specifically at Wisconsin. And so there's certainly interesting things for us to talk about with Wisconsin specifically, including the fact that we are trust in others number 1. It's the only thing we ranked number 1 in.
I want to ask you why you think that is, because I wouldn't have guessed that. I thought it'd be in the middle somewhere.
Trust in other people. Because it's interesting though, because we dropped for volunteerism. So this is under the category of social capital. Trust in other people, state rank, number 1, volunteerism, 25, and the trend line is less and less volunteerism. But yeah, trust in other people, especially for such a divided state when we talk about polarization and some of the antagonistic things when it comes to our politics. But yeah, so at least according to this, what do you think it is?
What do I think? Trust why that is?
Yeah. You think it's just part of our
I'm shocked by
fabric?
it. So I guess I don't have an answer. I would have guessed it would be in the middle somewhere. I like trust no one other than my wife, you, a few other people. I like what's the famous quote about
you trust no one?
I have a lot of doubt about people's intentions. That's just the way I am.
I think my husband. My husband also is like, don't trust anybody. I was like, wait, what?
Because you fall into bad situations,
When have you ever fallen into a bad situation from trusting someone?
Well, I'm not going to get too specific, but people mislead you and they're deliberately trying to push you in a direction you don't want to go in. I think that happens. It happened in my business life a lot.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Because people have their own self-interest. And maybe I see it more on that side than the personal side. I trust my friends, I guess. I would leave it at that.
Well, we don't have to turn this into like a therapy session.
Yeah. Well, you went there. You took it there. What's the journalist quote about moms? If your mom tells you she loves you, check
it out. Yeah.
That's sort of my MO. So do I think it's cool that we trust other people? Yeah, I guess. We had a win at least on one thing, right? We're number 1.
We're number one there.
One.
Number 1 there.
Trust.
For a lot of other things, definitely more in the middle. But it was interesting because there was larger takeaways from this whole study as far as the state of the country.
Yeah.
Including a stronger economy does not seem to improve personal well-being. Because in all of these different categories, as far as anxiety, youth depression, like we're not making much progress. No state's making much progress, which I think is really interesting as far as like, we were talking to Spano yesterday as far as how strong our economy still is and how it's withstood the tumultuous events of the last year and a half. And yet the market still looks good. I mean, wealth inequality is certainly off the charts, but, and yet there is still all of these well-being questions that no state is necessarily like crushing it.
No, because the things that we're just talking about when it comes to education and the cost of education, mental health treatments, helping people who are addicted to drugs, those things cost money. They require commitment from elected officials who I have less and less respect for and very little trust, probably more so than I've ever had. I mean,
But this is another conclusion. No state is improving on an alarming number of measures. Not a single state is improving on the following 8 measures: life satisfaction, adult depression, youth depression, fatal overdoses, trust in the federal government, income inequality, long-term employment, and hourly earnings growth. At the other end of the spectrum, all states are improving on 2 measures: child mortality and state total income. For the other measures, a large majority of states are trending in the same direction.
I would put that under the selfish category because
I
people
think
are selfish.
It goes back to what I think we were talking about on Friday as far as this yearning, I think, of a lot of people to have government work and not have it be so much about partisan, power and winning, because there's a lot of things that, like, if you look at this, like, are we getting better?
No, but that requires hard work. And we're, again, as a doer, we have a lot of talkers, a lot of yackers, and I understand the irony. Now, I was intrigued by the fact that on voter participation, 8th. That's pretty good.
It is pretty good. And I also think that's largely because we are a purple state.
Yeah.
Right? Because I think
we're
about
motivated.
that. Because in all the fights that are happening over California is how they count their votes, right? In the attempt to try to make it easier for people to vote with their mail-in ballots, they still have pretty abysmal voter turnout, right? I think it's hovering somewhere between like 50 and 60%, like a lot lower. But I think there's a lot of people, when you live in a state where you just assume we're always blue.
Yeah.
It's like basically acts as voter suppression because it kind of makes people think, well, there's no point for me to vote because I just know how everyone else is going to vote. And here, there's such an emphasis on your vote matters because all of the statewide elections come down to a couple tens of thousands of votes. So the internalizing that, I think, is much easier in a tight race than in places where you're told it's a foregone conclusion.
Given all of our election history, we're highly motivated to vote. If you live in a state like California and you're a conservative Republican, other than exercising your right, which you duly have, what are you going to change? That's frustrating. And maybe that's where you need a viable third party. Maybe that's where you need a different way to run elections. All things that serious people who are motivated by something more than money or self-interest would actually talk about. But we're not there yet. Now, somebody asked me, I think I saw a variation of this theme. Do I think Wisconsin people are good people? Absolutely. You gotta earn my trust and respect. You gotta earn it. Show me something.
Not me.
And when I
give it freely.
Yeah. And I'm a decent person. I'm not saying I'm some animal that hates everybody. I don't hate anybody. Well, I guess that's not true. But what's disappointing is volunteerism 25th. I thought it'd be higher because we're a very generous state. Every time we ask for money, people donate. So that surprised me.
I think this is really interesting. I think I'm going to put this in the newsletter for this weekend because I think it's an interesting thing to look at, both how they collected the data, where the Midwest and the New England trends the highest as far as regions across all of these different measures, but Wisconsin specifically does not outperform any of our Midwest neighbors on any of the 14 topics.
I got one they outperform their neighbors on: drinking.
Yeah, that's probably true.
We're as good as it gets.
So it's interesting to look at this, and it's interesting to think about, like, what is the responsibility of any level of government of what they could be doing for this, as far as our municipality, our county, our state, to be improving across these categories.
Serious leadership, real leadership. Do we have it? I don't think so. So I would rank us low on that. Quick break.
Accunet Mortgage is an equal housing lender. NMLS ID 255368.
This is Brian Wickert here with my son David, Accunet's president and chief metaphor officer. What do you have for us this time?
Dad, for a lot of sellers, selling their home is like handing over a family photo album. Every room in that house has a birthday memory or a trombone lesson or that last Mother's Day brunch before the kids moved out. The seller isn't just transferring a deed, they're saying farewell to a chapter of their life.
So buyers need to walk through the front door with that in mind.
Absolutely. It's not just a financial transaction. It's a transfer of trust. Sellers and their agents are looking to say yes to the buyer who is strong enough and safe enough to make good on their offer.
So what does that look like in practice?
It looks like a rock-solid guaranteed pre-approval and a thoughtfully crafted offer that tells the seller, I will show up.
Because when the seller is deciding who will get the keys and the metaphorical family photo album,
you want them to feel the best about handing them to you.
Get started with your rock-solid pre-approval by clicking on the blue button today at Accunet.com.
Don't think twice. Call Gainnis.
A great way to add value and curb appeal to your home is with a new LiftMaster or CHI maintenance-free garage door. Hey, it's WTMJ's Greg Matzik. A study by Remodelers Magazine reports that the average return on investment is an amazing 82%. Garage doors rank first among all home improvement projects. To see Gainnis' huge selection of doors, visit their showroom in Brookfield, or you can also visit their online showroom at GainnisDoors.com. Gainnis has everything from alley doors to custom wood designer doors and everything in between. Remember, for all your garage door needs, you call Gainnis at 262-784-4250. That number again, 262-784-4250. It's Gainnis. Visit them online at GainnisDoors.com.
Don't think twice. Call Gainnis.
Welcome back to Ask Hasselus. I'm Weston. What's your question?
Are you the Weston from Hasselus Mattress?
That's me.
I'm your biggest fan.
Oh, well, thanks.
The way you talk about employee-free Hasselus showrooms, free next-day delivery, and prices that are way low. I mean, nobody does it better.
I don't know what to say.
Say that I can get a free box spring with the purchase of any Sealy Posturepedic or Beauty Rest mattress.
Okay. Now through Monday, at Hasselus, get a free box spring with the purchase of any Sealy Posturepedic or Beauty Rest mattress.
Awesome.
You know what's really awesome? You can get a Beauty Sleep by Beauty Rest Queen Elm Cove A mattress. Others sell it for $1,459. But Hasselus has it for just $794.
I know. I have that tattooed on my...
Wow, you really are a fan.
Told ya.
Save big and get a free box spring through Monday at Hasselus Mattress. Open 9 to 9. Find an employee-free showroom near you at Hasselus.com.
The family-owned Mine Shaft restaurant in Hartford is hiring line cooks, dishwashers, and third-shift cleaners. You'll make real money in a fun, busy atmosphere. Parents and grandparents, tell your kids. Inquire today and start next week. Visit mineshaftrestaurant.com.
All right, we've been talking about the reaction of fans traveling from around the world to the United States for their World Cup games, and fans are amazing. I heard Vince talk about this morning how cool I love all that stuff because it's excitement. It's when you strip out all the nonsense that people can just. You said this the other day that you just appreciate the people of the country, not the leadership of the country.
Yeah, there's a line going around on social media of something like the World Cup feels like we're having a sleepover with our cousins that we never get to do because our parents are always fighting.
Yeah, that's a great line.
I didn't even come up with it. I can't claim it, but it's funny.
So in the little time I spent on social media, I was on Instagram and I caught this fun little AI generated clip about some fans' reactions to the things they're discovering in America.
I don't want it.
But I thought you loved beans and toast.
No, not anymore.
I just don't understand why we can't have free refills in the UK. It's not like the technology doesn't exist.
Ranch dressing. Do you have it?
Hans, why is everything here in children portion?
It's always been this way.
Mayonnaise, sour cream, buttermilk. Now for the herbs.
Just a little taste of it. Again, AI created.
How long does it go on for?
It goes on a little bit longer, but it's just.
It's all the things that they've been exposed to now.
We
could flip that around though. It's like, oh, what's it like to have free health care?
Yeah, you would make that flip. As someone who's been in Europe extensively, almost all over except for Scandinavia, it is way different. Their food, their choices, the way they serve it. You don't have to look any farther than the temperature of their beer in some places. It's just different. But I love the fact they're spending their hard-earned dollars, by the way, coming here for the World Cup to support their team. I love that. And two, they're celebrating. And again, I'll reiterate the point you made. It's the people of the country that make America great, not the leadership. As much as you can admire leaders, I don't care what side you favor, it's the people. Because we are a melting pot. We represent all these countries that are coming here to visit for the most part, right? I mean, you could almost name a country in the world that there's somebody that you know that, oh, they're from that part of the world, or their parents were there, or grandparents. I love that. That is the coolest thing about the World Cup. I could care less who wins the World Cup.
Have you watched any games yet?
I watched pieces of games. I was watching Messi yesterday.
Okay.
2 goals, but all-time leading scorer in World Cup play. He is so good. And here's a funny little detail. I'm watching the pregame where they're saying players to watch. They don't have Messi on their list. Like, why would you not have him? He scored 2 goals, for God's sake.
They also might just be doing as far as players you may not have heard of before.
I guess.
I'm sure, if you don't know who Messi is, you're really living under a rock.
It wasn't that. It's just like, look at these other. No, watch Messi.
Yeah, he's
fantastic.
We should get you to Nomad. Did you see any of the pictures of Nomad on Brady Street?
No, but I have one closer to me, Moran's Pub in South Milwaukee. They closed the street for
They
these.
did. And that's
Oh
what
my
Nomad
God.
did too.
Yeah,
and so I didn't
love
get to go, but I think I might go this. When do they play? Do they play 2 p.m. Friday or
It
9
sounds-
p.m.?
it sounds-
When do they play on Friday?
Yeah, somebody tell us that's paying attention. I'm gonna probably, if they keep going, I'm gonna go watch a game somewhere because you have to experience it.
Yeah.
Every 4 years?
Every 4 years.
Yeah, it is.
You were like kind of poo-pooing at the beginning. I feel like you're getting more into it.
But because of the way you sort of.
I convinced you?
Yeah, just the way that we should appreciate it. I'm not a soccer guy. I don't really care about that.
But this is my thing. This goes back to the thing we were just saying about Kenosha. I will never have a job on ESPN Milwaukee because I don't know like the ins and outs and the data and and all the players. But like, I am such a sports fan because of the stories that come out of sports. And I think the pride, especially when you talk about like representing countries, like it is awesome to see all these cultures being represented. And like when you have, when you see Curacao tie with Ecuador and a country of 150,000 people tie with a country of 14 million people, and what the streets looked like on that tiny island and how much pride people have. Like, it is just, I don't know how, even if you don't understand a thing about soccer, how you can't watch some of these stories unfold and not feel better about humanity.
We rant and rave about the Super Bowl, but that's just us, basically.
Mm-hmm.
This is a world. What a great example of how it could be on any front other than sports, with that sort of enthusiasm, support, energy, passion. Something to think about. We'll wrap the Talking Tuesday edition of Point Taken. We haven't said that at least, I think it's the first time we said it today. Talking Tuesday, Kristen and Steve, 620 WTMJ. Wrap it up after this.
Tune in to Wisconsin's Midday News with Greg Matzik and Jessica Ty.
One of the suspects in the foiled attack planned at the White House UFC fight will remain in jail.
Bringing you the latest in news, sports, traffic, and weather.
3 men charged in Wisconsin's fake elector scheme plead not guilty to felony forgery.
Every weekday from noon until 3 p.m.
You can also watch us on YouTube. Hop into our studios for the rest of the show and any show. Wisconsin's Midday News is on YouTube.
Hey, it's WTMJ, Steve Scafidi. Does this sound familiar? I can't raise my arms. I can't climb stairs. I can't kneel down. I can't play golf. Can't play with my kids or grandkids. Or even get through a work day or a sleep night without exhausting pain. Well, if that's your story, if that's your details of your life, I'm here to celebrate what you can do. And that's exactly why QC Kinetics matters to me and you. I've talked to hundreds of patients now in my experience with QC. Mine last year, 5 treatments. Completely fixed my elbow pain. If you're watching on YouTube, and you should be on Point Taken, you'll see that I can move my elbow freely. It doesn't hurt to turn a doorknob or pick anything up. I was just hauling some heavy stuff the other day. No problem. Done right in their office in Greenfield. No, I didn't miss work, no surgery, no long recovery. First, they calm the inflammation, then the pain goes away. And I love hearing those stories, so keep sending them to me. So go find out what you can do, how you can make your life better, how you can get rid of the pain starting right now. The consultation is free. Just have a conversation. Dr. Caravelli and a great team at QC Kinetics, Mequon, Greenfield, they're the best. Trust me on that one. Here's the number, 414-667-5559. Change your life, get rid of your pain, start over, start doing those things again. 414-667-5559.
There's an amazing supper club in Wisconsin Dells, Ish Nala, nestled among the pines and perched above the sandstone bluffs of Mirror Lake. The beauty, the history, the service, the food, the fun. Hi, this is Bob Prosser, owner of Ishnala Supper Club in Wisconsin Dells. I've been a part of Ishnala since 1973, and I am so proud to continue the tradition that began in 1953. Why not enjoy a brandy old-fashioned in one of our bars, each with a spectacular view overlooking Mirror Lake, or just relax before or after dinner on one of our outdoor decks. Our Ishnala chefs have prepared your favorites: 24-ounce ribeye, cold water lobster tails, North Atlantic salmon, and of course, Ishnala's roast duck. Thank you for making Ishnala Wisconsin's favorite supper club, where the only thing we overlook is Mirror Lake. I'm Bob Prosser, and I want to serve you.
All you have is one chance after an accident, one decision on who to call, one shot to get the help you need. Don't waste it on the one offer you get from your insurance company. Make the one call to Gruber Law Offices. It's the only one you'll need to make. Call us today. Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all.
Find furniture for life from Ken Michaels Furniture in Brookfield, Greenfield, or downtown Milwaukee.
WTMJ, W277CV, and WKTI HD2 Milwaukee. From the Annex Wealth Management Studios, this is News Radio WTMJ, a Good Karma brand station.
All right, we got our answer. Team USA plays Thursday night, 9 p.m. against Turkey. But what did I say that's called? A dead rubber match?
Yeah, so I don't think they have to play some of their injured players because they want to get healthy for their next game, right?
Yeah. And so because they already clinched their spot into the next round.
Yeah.
And Turkey's already not going to the next round.
Oh, so maybe it'd be an interesting game.
Could be.
Actually,
but I mean,
less pressure as a fan.
So for people whose bedtime is 9 p.m., you don't maybe feel as pressured to stay up and watch. But
why are you looking at me when you say that? I stayed up till midnight, 12:30.
I know. I'm surprised that you are not still bouncing back and feeling a little groggy.
I'm fresh.
Yeah, I hear you.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so are you going to watch that game? Are you going to stay
I'll watch
up?
some of it, yeah.
Okay, before you have to go to bed?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
I love how you just openly mock me on the air. Oh, yeah.
You know, my thing last night, my witchy
Yes,
summer solstice.
yes, your summer solstice. How was that?
It was beautiful.
One
we
of
were on the
Milwaukee's
beach.
Female hippies.
Yes, and we were all wearing flower crowns.
Oh,
we had
I
a
bet
lot of
you
looks
were.
from other people being like, what are they doing? But it was so fun. It was so beautiful. But I had one of the women there. We were walking down to the beach up in Fox Point, and she was like, so do you and Steve actually get along, like off the air? And I go, yeah, like he's one of my like very best friends. She goes, I always wonder about that. She's like,
Why would you think that?
She's like, I listened to the show and you guys are so good together, but I didn't know if you were actually friends or not. I was like,
what's
so
her
yes.
first name?
Her name was Abby.
Abby, we love each other.
We do love each other.
So-
And that's why I can openly mock you and you don't take it too seriously.
Unless I'm mocking you more. No, I'm not. All right, we'll see you tomorrow. Big show, as always. News next.
Spring into better vision at Shopko Optical. Vince Vitrano here. All starts with a comprehensive eye exam from a skilled optometrist. Takes a look at your